If you're here, there's a good chance you're tired, really tired. The kind of tired that reshapes how you feel about everything. Your child, your partner, your ability to cope, your sense of self. You may be standing at a difficult crossroad. Part of you is desperate for a change, and another part is scared that anything you try will harm the bond you've worked so hard to nurture. I wrote this book because I've been where you are, both personally and professionally, and I want you to know something right from the beginning. You can help your baby or child sleep better. You can do it in a way that protects your relationship, not damages it, and you don't have to choose between your child's emotional needs and your own. There is a path forward that respects both. My name is Kel Whittaker. I'm the founder of the Institute of Sensitive Sleep Consulting, a training organisation that has helped educate and certify hundreds of sleep consultants originating in Australia. But above that, I'm a mother, one that was exhausted, overwhelmed, and wrestling with the weight of two opposing narratives. One that told me to just sleep train and get on with it, and another that warned me that if I let my baby cry, I'd damage their developing brain and our attachment. Neither extreme felt right, and neither explained what to do when my baby just wouldn't sleep. With a background in psychology and social work, I was trained to look beyond quick fixes and understand behaviour within context. I knew sleep was important for babies, for caregivers, for mental health, for development. But I also knew that many common methods of improving sleep were presented in ways that didn't consider the emotional nuances of parenting. I wanted something more holistic, an approach that combined the best of behavioural science with the wisdom of attachment theory and the real-life experience of sleep-deprived parents who want help without harshness. That's what this book is here to give you. I did begin my consultancy in Darwin, a regional city in Northern Australia, whilst taking time off from my government job with my firstborn baby. I was the first sleep consultant in Darwin. Pioneering has its perks, of course, being the only fish in that pond. However, the flip side is, I was starting from scratch and it was up to me to shape the perception of what this role is and convince people of its benefits. Armed with my studies in psychology and the weight of sleep deprivation, I was driven to get this right. I noticed my own sleep problem crept up slowly. Beginning in early adulthood, from around the time I started studying psychology, coincidentally, stress would covertly run my mind, making it more difficult to stay asleep at times. Gradually, it became more of a problem before falling pregnant, and then once I was pregnant, it was a disaster. The threat of not being able to take sleeping pills in case of emergency, due to the health risk to the pregnancy, meant I was more on edge concerning sleep. On top of that, I was preparing for the impending doom of sleepless nights looking after the baby. Of course, pregnancy itself also messes up sleep for even the best sleeper. The days following my son's birth are a blur. I had a 30-hour labour, so 0 sleep before birth. And then it was near impossible to sleep with all the afterbirth hormones and regular feeding to be done. Visitors would seem to arrive right when I was about to rest. I felt myself about to pass out at one stage. All I could do was eat some cake to stop from fainting in front of well-meaning visitors. The sounds of the hospital were grating me. I could hear every clang and bang in the halls around the clock. I remember asking a nurse, "Do people die from sleep deprivation? And if I can't get any sleep, will resting with my eyes closed be good enough?" I longed to be released from hospital, to come back to the comfort and security of my own bed. I was supposed to stay 5 nights, but I self-discharged on the 4th. The night we returned home with baby, I had just finally settled him and hopped into bed for a few minutes, finally about to catch some shut-eye, when the doorbell rang. A stranger at the door in her underwear, pleading to use the phone. We obliged, of course, gave her my clothes, and offered to take her anywhere. Why tonight? In the first 6 weeks, a nurse commented on how alert my son was. I thought it was a compliment that he was super bright for his age. I soon realised that it was not normal for a newborn to be awake for hours, and slowly my obsession with finding the magic code to unlock sleep started to grow. After much research, and on the verge of flying a famous sleep consultant up to Darwin, my passion for this business was born. I can do this. After resolving my son's sleep, parenthood was bliss. Too blissful that we thought we needed the challenge of a sibling. At the end of the same year as giving birth to my first, I fell pregnant again. My first clue was morning sickness on Christmas Day. I studied sleep consulting with several American providers and leaped into my new career, working around caring for my baby. I enjoyed the thrill of helping others and getting results, so much so that I did not stop when I was heavily pregnant with my second baby, and soon after she was born, I remember taking her with me to consults, breastfeeding on a client's sofa as we talked. Something changed though, the more I learned about parenting through my own experiences and the differences between the siblings, the more I thought there must be other methods to helping babies sleep than the cookie-cutter strategies. I listened to parents' views on co-sleeping and their bonds through breastfeeding. I revisited my old textbooks on attachment theory and dug deep into learning about attachment parenting until the penny dropped. There was a huge gap in this industry for approaches that were effective, evidence-informed, yet sensitive to the emotions felt by parents, the mental well-being of infants, and protecting the attachment bond between caregiver and child. Medical and allied health professionals were only educated on standardized and simplified strategies. I know, as I also enrolled and underwent the university training module offered to family doctors. It took less than 3 hours, and so the Institute of Sensitive Sleep Consulting was born. Our first program was developed and approved whilst I was completing my master's qualification. I had 6 students in my pilot intake. The program was well received, and within a few years it had started an industry movement, with many other providers adding a gentle flavour to their courses. Whilst I was not the first to bring gentle methods into the spotlight, I was the first to marry the psychology of attachment theory with evidence-informed sleep interventions and behavioural principles of psychology. Fundamentally, with this approach, we are able to adapt any sleep training intervention into a plan that respects the bond and well-being of both child and parent. The majority of sleep disorders in children are behavioural. Therefore, it is vital that training is crafted from a behavioural science perspective. Of course, we have vast input from related professions such as nursing, midwifery, and early childhood education, nutrition, and even pediatric osteopathy, which add tremendous value to a holistic approach. This isn't a sleep training book, but I'm not here to demonize sleep training either. Instead, I'll guide you through a ladder of sleep support that starts with the foundations: environment, routines, rhythm, moves through gentle, responsive techniques like presence and fading, introduces behavioral interventions, yes, even versions of sleep training that are respectful, flexible, and emotionally safe. Because the truth is, structure and sensitivity can coexist. You can hold your child with warmth and still hold a boundary. You can offer emotional availability and still change habits. You can teach sleep without breaking the bond. Each chapter is designed to equip you, not overwhelm you. I'll walk you through what's biologically normal in baby and child sleep, how to know when help is needed, what behavioral strategies are available, how to implement change step by step in a way that feels right for your child and your values. Whether your child is 4 months or 5 years old, whether you bed share or bottle feed or both, there is something in this book for you, and you won't find judgment here, only information, options, and support. You may have been made to feel like helping your child sleep better is selfish, or that doing nothing is what good parents do. But you matter too, and rest is a form of care for you and for the child you love. If you're ready to find a way forward that feels aligned with both science and sensitivity, I'm honored to walk with you.